Welcome to the Prairie-Normal Activity Quiz. Welcome to the Prairie-Normal Activity Quiz, the quiz show where even the answers need answers. We hope that you have fun with our show and that you learn a little something about paranormal activity in our province and in this area. My name is Hugh Evans and I'll be your host. For some reason, many people seem to think of paranormal events as something that happens in other countries, maybe in a haunted European castle, for instance. But Saskatchewan has plenty of its own bizarre activity which no one can explain. Enough about my love life. Let's move on with the game. First, let me introduce a legendary local cartoonist, artist, and writer with a special interest in the odd and unusual. From City Park, Saskatoon, it's our Prairie-Normal activity expert, Dave Geary. Dave will inform the contestants of the correct answers and whether they're correct or not, and he'll also give us a little more details about each Saskatchewan story. Thanks for being here, Dave.
Welcome.
Now let's meet our contestants. To my immediate left here is Spencer or Spenny. Do you have a preference?
I do not. Call me whatever you like.
I will. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Spencer Dirks, and I'm the owner of an inquisitive mind.
That's fascinating. Farther away on my left here is Ashton. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Ashton Francis, and I am a dullard at my core, so this should be an interesting matchup.
We love having dullards here. All right, well, our game is simple, which is good for dullards. I'll read about a bizarre event that has actually been reported in this province, and I'll ask a question relating to this tale. You'll try to pick the correct answer from 4 possibilities, so you'll be given 4 choices. Each correct answer gets a point, and whoever has the most points at the end of the show wins this incredible gift basket from Glitch Gifts on 33rd Street. There's a remote control, zombie, rubber eyeballs, lots of great stuff. So whoever has the most points at the end of the show gets this. It's also the home of Glitchy's Believe It or Don't Museum of the Unexplained. So get down to 33rd Street and check that out. A big thank you to Mike at Glitch for this gift basket. This is our first show, so we're going to be trying out some slogans. One we're thinking of is, Saskatchewan is weird, but at least it's a dry weird. Let's get into the game. Our first question. High strangeness at Cochin Lake. This is from the 1960s. A fellow we'll just call John O. and 1 or 2 other boys or young men were sitting at the beach around 1 a.m. on a summer morning in 1960s, as I say, when they noticed a green light, quote, a long way out in the water, which they at first assumed was a boat. Within about half an hour, it started slowly pulsating and moving toward the beach. It finally washed up on the shore at Cochin Lake, a little distance from where they were. And incidentally, they were drinking a little bit, they say, but no drugs were involved. It washed up, and they went down the beach to where this glowing object had washed up. What did they find this object was? A glow stick, B, a phosphorescent jackfish, C, a small pebble, or D, a UFO. Now, keep your answers hidden. And we'll now turn to our expert, Mr. Geary. What is the correct answer?
The correct answer is a small pebble.
C. Let's see. What do you guys have? Whoa. Nope.
Okay. With the jackfish.
So far, we've got a tie. Did you have anything else to add to that, Mr. Geary?
I do, indeed. The small pebble was taken back to North Battleford by one of the boys, put in the shelf above the kitchen sink, because he was going to take it and show it to his friend at a rock shop the next day. But mysteriously, it went missing.
And when this washed up on the beach, was it still glowing?
Yeah, it was still glowing, and then the glow diminished so they could find it.
And he lost it.
He lost it.
Wow. Okay, well, that's the kind of these aren't all like UFOs or ghost things that fit easily into a category. That's what we would call just a high strange.
High strangeness.
Just weird events. All right, let's move on to our second question. Now, this one's a little longer. This is quite the story. This dates back to the 1940s, and it's the haunted skating rink on 4th Avenue here in Saskatoon. In 1943, people living near the 4th Avenue skating rink in Saskatoon complained of music, specifically a tune called the Skater's Waltz, being played loudly at precisely 2 a.m. each morning, although no one was in the rink at this time. Police subsequently staked out the rink, only to be baffled when the record player began playing the tune again at exactly 2 a.m. Apparently unaided by human hands, the police officers were further astounded to suddenly see a young couple appear on the rink and start skating and then disappearing before the eyes of the amazed cops. These cops swore they saw all this. Now, there was a little bit more speculation after this point. Locals believe this was the spirit of a young man known as Red, who has lost his life in the war. Of course, World War II was on at this time. And the lady skating with him was the ghost of his girlfriend, who had died in a car crash at almost the exact same time he'd been killed in Europe at 2 in the morning. Okay, the rink closed in 1955. What building, what type of business now stands where it was located? A skate shop. B, a funeral parlor. C, a record store. Or D, a vintage clothing shop. And we'll now turn to our expert, Mr. Geary, to give us the correct answer.
The correct answer is a funeral parlor.
B.
B.
And what say our contestants?
Oh, good one.
Are you guys just putting down B every time? That works. That works. Okay, I need a scoreboard here. That is 1 for Spenny and 1 for Ashton. Excellent. All right, let's move on to our third question. Now, this is from around my hometown area, Fort Capel, and my mother actually was a nurse at the TB sanatorium. But the old, what we used to just call the SAN, the TB sanatorium, tuberculosis sanatorium in Fort Capel, now torn down. It's now gone, but for many decades, numerous reports of sightings made it likely the most haunted place in Saskatchewan. Although my mother worked there, she never saw a ghost. She thinks she may have been responsible for some sightings of a ghost, though, because one night she was rushing around on her rounds in the full white outfit that nurses wore at the time, and she didn't realize she was on the second floor, that one door just opened up to the outside. She thought it was to the next ward. It just opened to the outside, and the stairs were being repaired, so there were no stairs. So she opened this door and ran out, and luckily it was in the middle of the winter. She sort of floated to the ground in her white cloak and landed on a snowbank and rolled, and she wasn't hurt. But she said anyone looking out the window would have seen this white apparition floating down from the floor. So, where are we here? What kind of ghost sightings, and again, there's been a lot of reports, but what kind of ghost sightings have not been reported? A, an old hag. B, a kindly nurse doing her rounds. C, people all dressed in white having a party. Or D, a coughing consumptive ghost of a tuberculosis patient. Mr. Geary, or is it Dr. Geary?
Doctor.
Dr. Geary, can you please give us the correct answer and maybe elaborate a bit?
The answer is D, a coughing consumptive ghost of a tuberculosis patient.
The one you would most likely think had been reported has not been reported.
One would think.
Did we fool our contestants?
Did we?
We sure did.
We did.
Beautiful. That's no harm, no foul. We're still tied at 1 apiece. Did you have anything to add to that?
Well, yeah, I do, actually. Later on, it was used, Fort Capel Sanatorium was used for writers' workshops in the 90s, 80s,
Band
90s.
camps.
And band camps. A group of very prominent Western Canadian writers, you'd recognize their names, but I won't tell you them right now, were there, and they did Ouija boards and seances, and all hell broke loose, and there was poltergeist activity and people falling on the floor and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
That's a whole
cool.
other story.
That's from my home, near my hometown of Fort Capel. Very interesting. All right, on to our fourth question. And we're tied up 1-1. This is another question 4, a high strangeness incident. Now this is the really crazy one. And remember, don't go to the graphic because it'll give it away. High strangeness at Hudson Bay Park in Saskatoon in 1963. On September 19th of 1963, 4 children playing behind a school reported seeing an oval light descending from the sky and a box falling from the light. As the frightened but curious children approached the box seemed to disappear and was replaced by something so bizarre and terrifying, one of the girls had to be hospitalized for shock. What was it that allegedly emerged and so terrified these children? Was it A, a 10-foot tall apparition wearing a white monk's robe? Was it B, a gray alien? Was it C, a gigantic white rabbit? Or was it D, a robotic gorilla dressed as a cowboy? And now we'll go to Dave Geary for the correct answer.
The correct answer is A, a 10-foot tall apparition wearing a white monk's robe.
All right, guys, what was your answers? B,
I mean, that looks like a rabbit to me.
C. Wow. And
Believe it or not.
And you've spoken to these kids as adults?
I have spoken to them.
There's some of them are still here, and they swear.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, this is why we couldn't go to this graphic first, because it would, of course, given it away. And they swear that they saw this.
Yes.
And there were UFOs reported by or lights.
Yes. There were lights in the air reported by other people, UFO-type lights.
Wow.
And after the fact, some Air Force personnel, they believed, in black cars came around and interviewed the kids.
I mean, what could possibly explain something like that?
This is 1963, by the way.
63, a year after I was born, and these kids see
Yeah.
a giant guy in a monk. It's just the
Elementary school kids. Yeah.
Very bizarre. Very bizarre. Okay, well, that's great. We are tied up at 1-1, and we're just going to go to this commercial break now. We'll be right back with more Prairie-Normal Activity Quiz. Professional video production doesn't have to eat up all your money. Call iCatcher Video today. 306-374-4484. That's 306-374-4484. Welcome to the Prairie-Normal Activity Quiz. Welcome back to Prairie-Normal Activity Quiz, where we've got a couple of contestants competing here, seeing how much they know about paranormal activity in Saskatchewan. They're competing to win this beautiful gift basket from Glitch on 33rd. Includes a remote control zombie and a lot of other cool stuff. Right now we're tied up at 1 apiece, and we're going on to question 5. Question 5, lake monsters of Saskatchewan. And this would be from prehistory to current times, eh, Dave? There are many lake monsters, tales, reports, and legends from around Saskatchewan. One of these monsters is described as being 3 to 9 meters long, colored black or very dark brown or green, with a head variously described as resembling that of a pig, a dog, or a seahorse. This alleged monster has been cited over the years by many different people and has reportedly scared boaters on which lake? A, NESSLIN Lake, B, Turtle Lake, C, Reindeer Lake Deep Bay, or D, Peter Pond Lake. We'll now turn over to our expert to get the correct response.
The correct answer is B, Turtle Lake. Probably the most famous lake monster in Saskatchewan.
That's B, Turtle Lake. And what do our contestants have? Oh, yeah. Oh, and Spenny.
Pulling ahead.
Pulls into the... He's got twice as many points as Ashton all of a sudden. Great stuff, guys. This is getting exciting. Okay. On to the 6th question. Murray Lake High Strangeness Area. This is part of the Moosomin Reserve. This seems to be one of those areas which, for whatever reason, has far more than its fair share of bizarre occurrences over the years. Has there never been A, a lake monster reported there? B, weird lights? C, little people? Or D, a Mothman type creature, aka a bat squatch? And now we'll turn things over to our expert, Dave Geary, for the correct answer.
D, a Mothman, or Sasquatch, bat squatch.
And what do our contestants say?
Unfold that paper. I see some cheese.
I don't even know what that was. Okay.
I mean, it's
So-
all a matter of perspective.
Nobody got a point there. Okay. Our 7th question is, these are areas of Saskatchewan linked by similar bizarre reports. Certain weird and unexplained events occur at various places around the province. Can you guess which one phenomena has been reported at Devil's Lake, now called Lucky Lake? It's also been reported at Good Spirit Lake, Torch River, and Candle Lake. This same thing. Now, what is this same phenomena that's been reported? Is it A, miraculous healing waters, B, hovering ghost lights, C, Thunderbird sightings, or D, Sasquatch reports? And Dr. Geary, if you could give us your expertise and tell us the correct answer.
The correct answer is B, hovering ghost lights.
Excellent. And our contestants say, oh, Spenny. And, oh, very good. Don't worry, Ashton. Ashton's saving it up.
True underdog story. There needs to be the fall before there can be the redemption.
He's lulling you into a false sense of security. He's coming through.
He's
I
a
can
quiz
feel
show
it.
shark.
Hovering ghost lights. And how common are those, Dave, around the province?
Very common. Very, very, very common. Even in Saskatoon, there are many reports of hovering ghost lights in Woodlawn Cemetery, for example.
Is it gas from dead bodies, or we do not know?
It's unknown, but
could it be interlopers from a parallel dimension?
It could be, but it could be plasma balls.
Same to you, buddy. Our 8th question. The monster of Deep Bay Reindeer Lake. This alleged lake monster is most infamous for doing which of these acts? Supposedly, he's been seen, he or she or it has been seen doing which of these acts? A, terrorizing fishermen. B, eating all the fish in the lake. C, pulling caribou down through the ice. Or D, occasionally coming up onto the shore. Dave, Dr. Geary, which of those activities is it most famous for?
It would be C, pulling caribou down through the ice.
Wow. Pulling them through the ice?
Yes, reports of that.
How do they know they're not just falling through the ice?
Well, they don't really know that, but they surmise that something came up and pulled it.
Well, of course. If I see a caribou going through the ice, I'm going to assume it's a big creature. And let's turn to our contestants and see who has C, pulling caribou through the ice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's a C for copycat.
Okay.
That's a C for cheater.
Wow.
You saw me do that.
Wow. Do you guys, by the way, have you, either of you
footage.
actually heard any of these, or?
I was just C for caribou. That was my line of thought.
But are
there.
have you guys heard of any of these monsters or any of these events? Or?
The Turtle Lake Monster. I
You
know
have
that
her,
one,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great, guys. We're just going to take another pause here and pay some bills. Let's cut to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Prairie-Normal Activity Quiz.
Mother of God, the legends were true.
I catch your video. Affordable professional video is no longer a myth.
Welcome to the Prairie-Normal Activity Quiz. Hey, welcome back, and thanks for staying with us here at the Prairie-Normal Activity Quiz. We're going to ask some more paranormal themed questions about sightings of various odd things that have happened in this area. And our contestants are going to keep competing for this lovely gift basket from Glitch Gifts on 33rd. So far, Spenny has 4 points to Ashton's 2 points, but Ashton can still pull this out. Let's move on to our 9th question. This is the famous Langenberg UFO sighting. In September 1974, while out swathing, a farmer in the Langenberg area spotted 5 small flying saucers, his words, hovering close to the ground, in what would become a rather famous UFO case. Last time I saw flying saucers, I was bugging my wife while she was washing the dishes. In any case, the farmer managed to get quite close to the rotating saucers and observe them for about 15 minutes. before they flew into the sky, leaving small crop circles in his field. What was the farmer's name? Was it A, Edwin Aldrin? Was it B, Edwin Druid? Was it C, Edwin Fuhr, F-U-H-R? Or was it D, Edgar Casey, C-A-Y-C-E? We will go to our expert, Dr. Geary. By the way, what are you a doctor of?
Well, I'm a doctor of parapsychocryptozoology, PPCZ.
Okay, then. We'll move over now to... I have my grade 11, by the way. So we'll move on to the correct answer from Dave, from Dr. Geary.
The correct answer is Edwin Fuhr.
Fuhr, F-U-H-R.
That's him right there.
That is C. Who's got C? Oh, and so does Spenny. But Spenny, yes. Oh, my. So, well, I could give you each a point. It wouldn't matter. Okay, that's, well, I guess I'll give you each one. Okay. All right. I don't know. Now, how'd you guys both get that? Just because, did you know all the others are other people? Like, Edwin Aldrin is actually Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin.
Edwin Druid is from a book by Dickens, his last book.
Oh, yeah, right.
If you knew who he isn't, I guess it's just as well as knowing who he is. Now on to the question 10, the twisted trees around the Hafford Mayfair area. You've probably heard of these, with a bizarre, well, here we go. These bizarrely twisted trees. This stand of bizarrely misshapen trees has amazed and perplexed people for many years, and numerous explanations have been suggested. Which of these theories, again, we're going for what has not been suggested, as far as we know. Which of these theories has not been put forward as a cause of the arboreal deformities? Why did I write that line? I can't say it. Anyway, is it, and again, this is the one no one has suggested, is it A, alien urination, B, microwave radiation from the aurora borealis, C, jackrabbits the size of Shetland ponies nibbling the roots, or D, genetic mutations? Which of these has never been put forward as a theory of why the trees are twisted? And Dr. Geary, which of those has never been put forward as an explanation?
B, microwave radiation from the aurora borealis.
I was sure that's what was doing it.
Not the
All
Shetland
right.
pony one.
So those others have alien urination and jackrabbits, and that's all been put forward.
Yep.
And in fact, they think it probably is genetic mutations, right?
Maybe.
We don't know. Or maybe an alien was going number 3 on it. Who knows?
EP.
And now, what do we got, guys? The right answer is B. Okay, that's no harm, no foul. Nobody gets anything there. Wow. Well, you know, you're only 2 behind. And there's and guess how many questions there are left? 2 left, so you can still do this. All right, our 11th question about the Tabor ghost light from 1938 to the present. This mysterious light has been seen by many people over the years, moving around a graveyard approximately 17 miles north of Esterhazy, Saskatchewan. The light sometimes seems to follow the highway or railroad tracks or even fence lines. But if a few people have ever gotten close enough to encircle it and try to find out what it is, it just disappears. On one occasion, it was reported that the light struck a driver's windshield, and then this happened. A, mysteriously hit the windshield. B, did the light explode into sparks like fireworks? C, did it become a multicolored smear that went over the car? Or D, did the windshield melt slightly? Our contestants have written down their responses, and we'll turn to our expert, David Geary, now. What is the correct answer, Dave?
The correct answer is C. It became a multicolored smear that then went over the car, and the guy could see it receding in the rearview mirror back down the highway.
And was there any, like, forensic evidence left on the car, or?
Nope.
Just... What's our theory of what this is, Dave?
Well, this lends support to the theory that it's a plasma vortex that rises from the ground and then moves around. And by the way, the Tabor light, like many ghost lights in the province, has been observed coming out of the ground as a small bluish ping pong sized light. It rises up to 4 or 5 feet high, then becomes yellow and larger, like a grapefruit or larger, about yay big. Then it starts moving around. So that suggests a plasma vortex from inside the Earth.
Bizarre. Wow. Well, now let's see what our contestants said. The correct answer is C. What do we have, gentlemen? Oh!
Oh, he's coming back. He's rallying.
Okay, this is great. We're going down to the final question. We in Saskatchewan, for I think fairly obvious reasons, are #1 in Canada for crop circles. According to the CCCRN, Canadian Crop Circle Research Network, yes, that's real, cases of reported crop circles occurred much more often in Saskatchewan than anywhere else in Canada. Between 1925 and 2006, this many crop circles were reported in this province. This is a long stretch of time, Dr. Geary. And this is the total over that time. This isn't an average. Okay.
The total reported.
So either A, 66 were reported in Saskatchewan, B, 182, C, 103, D, 19. And we'll go to our expert for the answer to our last question, the deciding question here.
C, 103 reported crop circles in Saskatchewan.
103. And let's see what our contestants said. Okay, so
Debatable.
Wow.
Let's see your credentials here. I'm not sure.
So you just, congratulations, Spenny, by 1 point, you've won this beautiful glitch gift basket. Thanks for watching, everybody, and stay Prairie Normal.